What's going on, everyone? I'm Eric Whiteback, and this is my 2022 Gold Prizm World Cup collection. I've always been a soccer player and a soccer fan my whole life, and soccer collectors will know you didn't really get great modern soccer releases until 2014 Prizm World Cup. That was the first soccer product I ever opened as a lifelong soccer player and a lifelong card collector, so when that set dropped, that's when I first fell in love with soccer cards. So the reason I went with gold Prizms instead of any other set is I think it's the perfect combination of scarce enough that they're really a go-to parallel, but not so scarce that I can't possibly complete the entire set. Getting the entire one of one set would be impossible. In 2014, there's 201 gold Prizms in the set. 2018 and 2022 both have 300. So in total, there are 801 gold-based Prizm World Cup cards, which, if you know how much gold Prizms cost and how desirable they are, you probably realized at this point that I'm a lunatic and I love this hobby. Now, with 801 in existence, and only 10 of each of those ever made, I'm currently at about 555 unique gold Prizms out of the 801. So even the ones you see here today is about a third of the entire collection. Of course, every Prizm set has a few key rookies. Two of mine right here, I've got Cody Gakpo and Julian Alvarez. Now in this set, the gem rate's actually pretty darn low. My gem rate's around 20% on all the ones that I've submitted. So you get one of the key rookies, Julian Alvarez, and a PSA 10, a card that I bought before the final, before they won the World Cup, and I maybe overpaid a little bit for a raw copy, but then to get the 10 on it, it ended up being a great purchase, and definitely currently my most valuable one in the set. You can buy cards of a player in their club kit, which is like, a Liverpool or an Arsenal or a Chelsea. Or for the World Cup set, you're getting them in their national team kit. So I am personally a huge United States men's national team fan, but I've got Anthony Robinson, Timothy Weah, Gianluca Busio, Tyler Adams, Matt Turner, Serginho Dest, and Brendan Aronson. There are certain countries where the fandom of the team in that country is just really fanatical and people get really excited about the team. One of those teams is the Mexican national team. And while you may not have heard of some of these players, if you're a casual collector, Carlos Rodriguez, Hector Herrera, Johan Vasquez, Gerardo Arteaga, Uriel Antuna, and players like that, these guys can fetch a huge premium because look, when there's only 10 of a card in existence and it's a popular card in the hobby, and you have a team that there are a lot of big fans of, like the Mexican national team, these cards can start to go for a pretty penny. So even though you may not have heard of some of these names, these cards can run $300, $500, $700, just depending on what big fans and collectors are going for that card at a given moment. So in 2022, unfortunately, I passed on the chance to buy a gold Messi before he won the World Cup. Now, obviously, you get the gold Prizm from the World Cup that he won. That card's gonna go for a lot of money, so I'm probably gonna end up having to pay about double what I would have paid even just a couple months ago for that card. That's the big one that I'm missing right now. It's gonna be really tough to get. There's also a few rookies where I'm just like, man, I hope Gavi doesn't go off in the next month or two, because that's another one that I need as well, but I think Messi's definitely gonna be the hardest one to get now out of the set. And so while the Messi is gonna be a hard one to buy just in terms of price, it's actually interesting that that's one of the ones that I know where most of the copies are. Those copies surface and people grade that card when they pull it and they know that's a big and important card, but ironically, it's sometimes the worst players that can be the hardest to find. You get a random national team on a player that's not that good, and that card might never surface, and it's hard to know what collector might own that or where it's at. But when the gold Messi surfaces, it goes all over social media, everyone knows where it's at, it appears at Golden or a big auction house. But when you get the random players, there's always those few random players, just you never see one. And then once it comes up, you gotta go for it. So with 78 cards still missing out of the set, I'm not sure who those random players are gonna be that I'm missing when there's only 5 or 10 left, but those can be the ones that you chase your whole life trying to find. So I'm actually taking my entire 2022 gold Prizm collection. I'm gonna have them sent to the collector's vault for safekeeping. I'm gonna miss having them to look at, but it's gonna be better for the peace of mind for me to have them there. And I will say, if anyone out there has any of these or know where any of them are, I'm not hard to reach. Send me a DM at Eric Whiteback on any of the major socials. So if you got what I need, I'm the buyer for you, and I'm probably gonna be the person willing to pay the most for it.